Alex's headlights cut through the thick fog as he drove deeper into the night, the road ahead seemingly endless. He had heard the stories about Wyrick Forest, about how the trees seemed to whisper at night and how anyone who ventured too far into it never came back the same. But Alex had always thought those were just urban legends, until tonight. Something felt off. He tried to shake off the unease that crawled up his spine, but it only deepened as he glanced at the rearview mirror. A figure appeared behind him, standing in the woods, just beyond the trees, watching him. Alex's heart skipped a beat, but when he looked again, there was nothing there. He accelerated, hoping to escape whatever was lurking in the shadows. But the fog grew thicker, and the road seemed to twist, becoming less familiar with every turn. Then, he saw it, a small cabin up ahead, nestled in the woods like some kind of abandoned relic. He pulled up, unsure why he felt the pull to stop, but something inside him urged him to go in. The air inside the cabin was thick with dust, the wooden floors creaking beneath his feet. The place looked abandoned, but there was a sense of presence, a heaviness in the air. As he explored, his flashlight flickered, catching glimpses of old newspapers scattered across the floor, headlines about lost travelers and mysterious disappearances. Suddenly, a voice broke through the silence. It was soft at first, like a whisper, but it grew louder. "You're not the first to pass through here. You won't be the last." Alex spun around, but no one was there. The voice seemed to come from everywhere. He froze, unsure whether to leave or stay. The whispers continued, each one more chilling than the last. "We've been waiting for you." Panic surged through Alex as he grabbed his things and ran out of the cabin, his flashlight trembling in his hand. Outside, the fog had thickened into an almost impenetrable wall, and the shadows seemed to move. He heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from behind him. Alex didn't dare look back. He just ran. The forest seemed endless, every tree blending into the next. The whispers didn't stop. "You can't run from what's already inside you." His breath came in ragged gasps as he stumbled, his legs giving out beneath him. He collapsed to the ground, his hands clutching the damp soil as the darkness closed in around him. But then, a light flickered through the trees. It was a gas station, old and run down, like it had been abandoned for years. Desperate for any sign of safety, Alex rushed toward it. Inside, the air was stale, the dim light casting long shadows across the shelves. Behind the counter stood an old man, staring at a muted television. Alex rushed up to him, his voice shaky. "Please, I need help. I've been lost in the woods." The old man looked up, his eyes blank, distant. He said nothing at first, just nodded toward a rotary phone sitting on the counter. "You can make a call, but only one." Alex picked it up, his hands trembling as he dialed the number. The line rang once, twice, and then a voice answered. "Hello, Alex. We've been waiting." A chill ran down his spine. "Who is this?" he demanded, but the voice only replied, "We've been waiting for your payment." Alex slammed the phone down, panic setting in. "What is this place? What do you want from me?" he shouted. The old man didn't answer. He just slid a journal across the counter toward Alex. The cover was worn, and it looked older than anything Alex had seen in his life. "Write it down," the man said simply. "The only way out is to face what you've run from." Alex opened the journal. At the top of the first page, a line was written in neat handwriting, "What you fear most, already owns you." Confused, Alex flipped through the pages. All of them were blank, except for that one phrase. But as he read it again, something shifted. A memory surfaced, a time when he had made decisions based on fear, when he had taken shortcuts to avoid discomfort, to feel like he was getting ahead. In that moment, it was clear to him, his journey through the forest wasn't just physical. It was a journey inward. Suddenly, the door to the gas station flew open, and Alex felt a cold breeze rush in. The old man looked up at him, his face unreadable. "You're not here by chance," he said softly. "The forest has claimed many, but only those who have debts to pay can escape." Alex's heart raced as he stumbled back toward the door. The voice inside his head urged him to leave, but the thought of being out there alone in the dark was unbearable. He grabbed the journal, clutching it tightly, and bolted from the station. The woods were no longer the same. As he ran, he began to notice strange symbols carved into the trees, signs he hadn't seen before. The whispers grew louder, each voice a different version of himself, accusing him of his choices. You took shortcuts. You chose speed over substance. He stopped for a moment, the journal in his hands. He felt the weight of his decisions, his failed relationships, his chase for wealth at the expense of everything else. The forest was reflecting all of it back to him. The whispers echoed, and Alex realized the truth. This wasn't just a forest of trees. It was a forest of choices. Suddenly, ahead of him, the trees parted, and a narrow path appeared, leading toward a house. It was a place from his past. His childhood home. He felt an odd sense of familiarity as he walked toward it. He had to face whatever was waiting there. The door creaked open as he stepped inside, and the smell of old memories filled the air. The walls were lined with mirrors, each showing a different version of Alex from his past, versions that had made the wrong decisions, the ones who had chased wealth and success without realizing they were losing themselves in the process. At the end of the hallway stood a small desk with a boy sitting at it. Alex as a child, scribbling in a notebook, dreaming of the future. He remembered that moment, the hope, the ambition. But the boy turned to him, his eyes hollow, and spoke. You forgot the dream. You bought the image. The house began to tremble, the walls shaking as the boy's voice deepened, morphing into something darker. You borrowed time. And now it's time to pay. Alex turned to see a mirror at the end of the hall. In it, he saw a door, a real one, not just a reflection. A door that led to something beyond. He stepped through it, and the scene changed instantly. He found himself standing on a beach made of golden coins with black waves crashing against the shore. There, standing alone, was the debt keeper, an old man holding a lantern, his face hidden in shadow. The debt keeper's voice was like the ticking of a clock, cold and relentless. You took the shortcuts, Alex. You spent your time recklessly. Now you must pay. Alex stood frozen, but then, as if compelled, he asked, how can I repay my debt? The debt keeper stepped forward. There's only one way. You must face the version of yourself that never took the shortcuts. The one you could have been if you'd invested your time wisely. A man stepped forward from the shadows. Older Alex. The version of him that had never cut corners. The one who had lived a life of discipline, responsibility, and wisdom. The older version embraced him, and for the first time, Alex felt a sense of peace wash over him. The debt keeper's lantern flickered, casting a soft light over the beach as the forest slowly dissolved. The waves calmed, the storm cleared, and Alex found himself back on the familiar road, the gas station and cabin gone. He was no longer lost. He was free. With the journal beside him, Alex drove away from the forest, the weight of the past lifting from his shoulders. The journey had changed him. He had faced his fears and learned the most important lesson. The path to freedom isn't through shortcuts, it's through patience, discipline, and wise investments of time and energy. And as he drove into the rising sun, he knew that his story was just beginning.